On Live It Up right now, we have Allison Ramos, and she's an attorney, and we're going to be learning about how to avoid the pitfalls when you're buying a home. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Good. Now, you've been doing this for a while. You said around 13 years.
Yeah.
And what made you decide to become an attorney?
Well, growing up in a big family as the youngest and the only girl, I found that I had to negotiate for anything that I wanted, whether it was a raise in allowance or the last slice of cake. So I learned pretty early how to frame an argument, and I think between that and the fact that I really like helping people, I kind of knew by the time I was in middle school that I wanted to be an attorney.
And what steps did you take to get there?
Well, I started off at Nassau Community and I actually went for paralegal studies, and I did that for a little while. And then after that, I finished my bachelor's, and then I went to St. John's Law School.
It's a lot of reading. That was one of the reasons I decided. I was like, I wasn't sure. So, I mean, I don't think people, when they're going into it, realize it's a lot, right?
It's a lot of reading and a lot of studying, but you become a super fast reader and you form a good study group and everybody helps each other out.
And one of the things that I learned about you when we were talking is that you're also a mom.
Yes.
So how are you balancing that whole career thing for yourself?
Well, I have 3 little boys, and I think it is a balancing act. It's a lot of work. I have tons of jobs, which are fantastic, and I think with the grace of God and my fantastic husband and my mom who helps out, we all kind of work together and make it work.
And what did it feel like the very first day that you opened your law office and it was your place?
It was amazing, scary. I was actually working at a law firm in Garden City, and I got admitted, and my husband and I had a conversation. The next day I quit, and I just went out on my own immediately. And it's a lot of responsibility, but you also get all the, all the credit for everything. So it's great.
And I think it also helps when you're an entrepreneur to be able to balance the things so that you don't have to miss every game, or that you can,
Right.
kind of adjust things. And I found too, some of the people that I've talked to that have worked with you in the past, one of the things they like about you is that you're very relatable. So like when somebody comes to you, you want to help them with their mortgage information. So let's talk about that. Like your style is just a little more friendly, I guess, right?
Right, definitely.
Right. Not the mean attorney that's like,
No,
right?
no. In fact, I try to shy away from working with those kind of people because, attorneys sometimes have a bad rap that they're too aloof or they think they're better than people. But really, my job is partly customer service. So what I want is for someone to have a really good experience and to not be so nervous when they're buying their first home, or, even when they're selling a home and buying a home. It's a very nerve-wracking experience. So what I want to do is try to take some of that burden and some of the nervousness off of them and kind of help them realize it's not that big a deal,
And how do you walk them through that process? Like we were talking about trying to avoid the pitfalls. What are some of the biggies, like the don't do's?
Right.
Right.
Well, I think timing is everything, and sometimes people either take too long when they're getting their mortgage, or they choose a mortgage company that may not be the right fit for them, so we wind up waiting and waiting, and then the other side gets upset, and the timing is all messed up. Sometimes it doesn't have to do with them, it has to do with the seller. If the seller's not ready to leave when they're ready to move in, then we have a potential disaster on our hands, and that type of thing. Part of it is negotiation as well. You really have to know what you're getting into when you're buying a home. So that engineer's report is really important. The right realtor, so they know what you're looking for, is really important. And again, dealing with the right mortgage broker is really important.
Have you ever seen a deal go down where somebody lost the house and then you were able to kind of like recoup and help them find the right thing? Can you share that with us?
Yeah, a bunch of times actually. Unfortunately, depending on the market, especially a few years ago when things were just starting to come out of the recession, and it was hard because certain people, they thought they knew what they wanted, they would get into something over their heads, and it just, either the financing was falling through, or the seller side was falling through. There were also times when people think they have the information for the payoff and it's not there, and we wind up waiting, and now we're going past the dates of the deadlines of the contract. Sometimes we're able to save it by extending things, getting different appraisers come in and things like that. And sometimes I just have to help steer them toward a different mortgage company or steer them toward a different realtor, and then things are a little bit more smooth.
Would you agree then that it's never too soon to come to talk to you? Like if somebody's just starting to shop for houses, would it be okay if they came in for a consultation so you could kind of
Oh,
help them?
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, after 13 years, I have a ton of people at my disposal who are able to help them. You know, I know dozens of realtors, I know a half a dozen mortgage lenders, and, you know, the right fit for the right person really helps make things smoother depending on what their needs are, you know.
And I know the feedback's been pretty excellent. And I know, you know, sometimes also you, in the past, you have helped people with foreclosures, you know, and you have been there. You've done all types of law, but your specialty really is now working with real estate transactions, but residential, right?
Right, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
And you love what you do?
I do. I love what I do. I love helping people. I always get that thrill when a first-time homeowner, you know, realizes they get the keys at the closing and this is our place, you know, this is our, you know, and I tell them, don't forget, now you have to buy a lawnmower and a snow blower and rakes and shovels and all that, and they love it. So I love helping, you know, people get to experience that.
And how can someone find you? What's the best way? Through your website or?
Pretty much to call the office.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. And all my information is on my website, but calling the office is always a great way to reach me.
And then is there any other tip that's coming to mind that you want to make sure that the people know ahead of time?
Well, there was one thing that I did want to mention. Coming from a very patriotic family, most of the men in my family have been in the military, going back to my grandfather who served in World War II, my dad who served in the Korean War, my uncle was in the Air Force, and my brother is currently serving in the Army. He just came back from a tour in Kuwait. And in order to show my appreciation for service members, one thing that I do is I reduce my fee down to $500 for them.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's wonderful.
well, I know it's a big burden and it's a big expense when you're buying a house, and I know that service members have been through a lot, and if that's one thing I can do to help them and to show my appreciation, then that makes me really happy. You know?
Yeah, I'm a big vet hugger myself, as we talked about, because I grew up singing for veterans my whole life, and it really does make a difference. So it's really nice that you offer the military discount.
Well,
really cool.
It's the least I could do, honestly, what they sacrifice for us. You know, it's just one thing I could do.
And I know there's no better feeling when a homeowner does like turn the key for the first time. So it's lovely that you're able to help people's dreams come true. So very nice to work with you.
Yes,
Looking forward to having you on. And thank you for the valuable tips. I think you're right. I think when you're starting to look for a home, there's no reason why they couldn't come to talk to you first, and you could walk them through the process. So.
Oh, absolutely. Yep, every step of the way.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
So for these wonderful tips and more, you could reach out to Allison Ramos, or you could reach out to us at liveituptvshow.com. And if you're a vet, please give her a call.